Hey guys, it's Alex Torelli. Welcome back to the Hand of the Day. Today's question comes from Brian, who asks, how did you get so good at remembering hands? Flops, bets, physical actions, etc. Did you write them down at first and then train your brain to remember them? He goes on to say that sometimes everything happens too fast, and he forgets the little things, the little minute details that might help them. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So, Brian, great question. Note taking is imperative, and I want you to start thinking about a poker session like going to class and reviewing the hands, the notes that you take, like homework. So that is something that you're going to be doing after the session. But to give you a perspective on how important that is, I want you to start thinking about it in that way. So in the same way that it's impossible to remember everything that the teacher says, and also similarly, the best time to capture information is when it's fresh on your mind, you shouldn't be afraid to take a minute and write down the hand or the things that are on your mind, specific details, especially your thoughts during the hand. So not just the action that happened, but why you did what you did. Because afterwards, when you try to recollect something that happened the day before or 3-4 hours before, especially after you have a lot new information, it might affect what you originally thought. So if you play a hand against an opponent now and you're thinking one thing, and then you get a lot more information about that opponent because let's say you play 10, 20 more hands against him, what you thought you did the first time might change as you get new information, and it might alter why you made a decision. So you're going to get the wrong information. It's all to say that it's extremely important to write this down during the hand. Now, the best players have a great ability to recollect poker hands. You'll find sometimes that people could talk about hands that they played 5 years ago and seem to remember every detail. And that just happens with practice. And it's because their minds are so engulfed in poker that they're always thinking about poker. Poker's always at the forefront of their consciousness, of their mind. So of course they're going to have an ability to be better at that. It's a harness skill. But for extra help, there's great software available nowadays that I didn't have when I was first starting out that can help you recollect hands. So using an app like Share My Pair, SharemyPair, Share My Pair, can help automate this process for you. And you could store hands in there and replay them to yourself afterwards. And so I highly recommend taking advantage of that. The second thing I would say that really helps with this, in my experience, has been accountability. Someone whom you talk hands with and that can help you. Now, I know a lot of you have wrote to me, and one of the things I get told the most frequently is that it's hard to get groups together, especially of aspiring professionals with similar goals. And so I'm really excited to say that coming out, my new course, 4-Step Poker, is really going to cement this idea together, where we're going to have a mastermind group with like-minded players that are really aspiring towards the same goals so they could congregate and discuss strategy. So it's something I'm really, really excited about that's coming out that I really feel like is going to assist in this process. But in the meantime, join forums. There's a lot of forums out there that have this. There's communities of coaching, or go to local events and use your network to challenge yourself to always be improving. And I would say on that level, you should make accountability, a fun challenge where, let's say you have a group of people that meet up, or you have friends that you regularly talk to. Make it something a little more formal, where you can say, okay, each week one of us brings, 2 new hands to share and discuss. And that way, you always have something you're bringing to the table, and it really forces you to be diligent about that practice. And that's really where improvement happens. So also, if things are happening too fast at the table, make sure that you're paying attention between hands especially, and rid yourself of distractions. So, no cell phone, Facebook videos. Don't have other things on your mind. Take care of everything you need to do before you get to the table so that you're not, your mind space isn't spread across a lot of different things that you have to do. If you find yourself distracted at the table, chances are you have other things in your life that you need to take care of before you play poker so that you can free up that mental space to play. Because remember, the best free information happens when you're not in the hand. So you don't have to play a big hand with someone to learn information about them that's really valuable. You can just watch him play a hand against someone else and get a lot of insight, free insight into the psychology of how that person thinks. Now, he might play differently against you if he's a good player, because he might adjust to what he thinks of your image is, so keep that into perspective. Don't just assume that something you see someone do against someone else, they're going to apply the same thing to you. But you can start to gather a lot of information about how that person approaches the game and the types of hands they play from different positions. It's extremely, extremely valuable. So between hands is really the time not to take a break, but to even dial in and focus more. Okay, that's it. So you like this video, subscribe to the blog. You'll always be the first to know when great food material comes your way. And if you have questions you want featured on next week's episode, write to me and I'll put your response in your very own video. So, Brian, I just acted. Now it's on you. Peace.